does this ratchet and this pistol have in common? I want to talk to you today about what the Springfield Armory did for America. Let's dive into its history real quick. It was kind of created by General George Washington as an arsenal. An arsenal is where you would store weaponry. And it later, at the end of the Revolutionary War, became an armory where they started to build guns there. The guns at that time were muskets. They were all built separately. You had one musket and it couldn't be interchanged for another musket. So the parts were completely different. Much like the car industry started making all the parts the same to be able to switch back and forth, that's what they did with the muskets. They started making all the parts the same. And this was years before then. And that's kind of what brings us up to what it really did for America, is it started to make all the parts the same, and it started this whole factory mindset of you do this part, I do this part, and we put all the parts together. We really associate this with the car industry, but that's what they were doing years before then. The Springfield Armory was a part of every conflict up to the Vietnam War, to include part of the Vietnam War. So that's World War I, World War II, Korea. They really played a huge part because they were innovators. They were creating these new and fantastic guns that were able to help our soldiers on the battlefield win. But they would start off thinking, how can I build this? Well, they had to have parts, they had to have tools. So they started inventing machines that could do mass production of, say, a gun stock or gun handle. And they needed tools to be able to put these machines together. So whenever they started off with this one idea of a certain type of rifle, they really came up with all these ideas of different machines and tools to build that rifle. So the really great thing that Springfield Armory did for America was start inventing all these other aspects to help build their products. But in return, it helped to build other products. It helped set the framework for really mass production that made America so great. According to the University of Massachusetts, the Springfield Armory set out to solve this problem, and in the process of doing so, invented the system of mass production that was to revolutionize America in the world industry. And just to back up the University of Massachusetts, according to the Department of Management at the University of Central Florida, the fortunate combination of location, key people, government policies, and arms demand combined to enable the development of interchangeable parts at the Springfield Armory. And that just kind of helps back up this whole mass production mindset they had. But after the Vietnam War, they wasn't staying competitive enough. So the company Springfield Armory moved off, and the actual Springfield Armory became a museum, and it holds the world's largest collection of small arms, and that's domestic and foreign. So they closed down about 1968 to kind of give you an idea of how long they've been out of business and how they've been educating people since. But this whole thing of, I'm going to start off to build this item and have 10,000 of these items being built to help build this one. That's what the Springfield Armory really did for America. And that's how it really revolutionized our way of life with mass production.